Hi guys, Ink Dancer here with another Movie Review Monday. I'm back doing part 2 of 3 of Madoka Magica Eternal this week. I actually liked the second one better than the first one. The first one was kind of setting things up a bit to, I guess, better explain things. And it felt a little slower, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It was a anime turned movie, so I mean, it makes sense. It would be the first part of the anime, setting it up for later episodes and possibly seasons. I'm not sure. So it makes sense that that first movie would be a little slower. This one, almost all action. And the fair majority of it was backstory, which I personally love backstory. Just kind of jumping right into it, it kind of starts off and it briefly recaps what happened at the end of the last one, which, if you haven't seen my first review of this, stop. Just stop. Unless you like spoilers. Go back, watch that first one. I'll leave the link down in the description. Go watch that one and come back to me. I'll wait. Okay, you've had time to watch it. So, now that you know what's going on, the beginning of this one starts off with Sayaka kind of joining the dark side. And she's pretty much just given up all hope. She did her wish to become a magic girl, and she wished that the guy that she had a crush on would get better, and he does. And she becomes a magic girl, and she's happy, and everything's great. And then one of her best friends is like, so that guy that you've had a crush on for years, I think I'm going to go hook up with him, okay? No big deal, right? And she just kind of spirals down into the black abyss, and her soul crystal or soul gem thing, it goes dark. And Kyoko is with her at the time and witnesses what happens when that happens, witnesses what happens when a magic girl pretty much loses all hope. They turn into a witch. And it did answer the question that I was starting to kind of piece together in the first movie, that all these witches are actually old magic girls that have just lost their way and over time have just started really kind of doubting themselves and, is it even worth it anymore? And yeah, all the witches that are out there are just old magic girls. And that's deep. That is deep as fuck. Then it kind of goes through explaining that a little bit, but it just keeps the pace moving right along. I keep looking down at my notes if you're wondering what I'm doing here. Let's see. It does also explain that Hamura, the transfer student in the last one, the girl whose name I couldn't remember for the life of me, she can manipulate time. Like, this movie is pretty much just completely devoted to her, which is awesome. It is all her backstory, pretty much. And, oh my god, it is deep. Yes, buddy. In case you're wondering, you might not see him, you might. I've got Hades in the room with me, so in case you hear random noises, I've got a cat in here with me. And this movie definitely hammers in that nail that Kyubey is evil. Horribly evil. And it goes into further detail about what his whole sole purpose in this is. His whole species is pretty much taking the energy released in, yeah, he was right there, I just saw him. Not Cube, Hades. His species takes the energy that is released whenever a girl turns into a magic girl, and then again later whenever they become a witch. It's harnessing that energy and pretty much using it to prolong the life of the universe. Like, magical girls are just batteries for the world, and it is just really fucked up. And I mean, just how casually he says it. He's pretty much just like, yeah, that's all you are. And I mean, I actually got a really good quote from him. It made me laugh, but it really hammered in just how dark this cat thing is. He actually tells Madoka at one point, he tells her, I still believe that one day you'll be the greatest of all magic girls and then the worst of all witches. So if you ever feel like dying for the sake of the universe, call me. Like, what the hell? Why would you tell somebody that? That is so fucked up. But, I mean, he's just ever so nonchalant about it. Like, she is losing her mind after learning all of this and learning that, like, all of the great, like, female heroes of the past, like Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, all of that, they were all magic girls that slowly lost their way and turned into witches that had to be destroyed by other magic girls. And she's just over here just mind. And he's like, yep, that was me. We did it. It was all just, you're a battery. Whatever. Cheer up. Come on. And it is just, wow. Then it goes into Madoka and Kyoko, the Furious Eater from the last episode. They're going into Sayaka's labyrinth, trying to figure out some way, okay, how can we save her? There's got to be a way that we can save her. And Kyoko finally just kind of goes, I don't think that there is. There's no way we can save her. And she ends up sacrificing her own life simply so that Sayaka wouldn't be alone whenever she pretty much got put out of her misery. And, like, just sitting there watching it, all I could think to myself was, she's got family. She's got friends, you know, people who are going to be like, what happened to her? And it does actually go into detail with that later in the movie. Not into great lengths, but just enough to kind of wrap that up a little bit, too. Once again, the music and the art style in this is just phenomenal. Like, if you like music, if you like anime, if you like art, if you're just bored as hell, go watch this. It will just blow your mind. I love it so much. Like, every time I think that I've seen, you know, just how amazing it can look, it just goes to a new height. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And then it starts getting into Haruma's backstory, and her backstory is pretty much, she is a badass motherfucker. She initially decided to become a magic girl, and like, she's following them around, she's trying to help them out, and her initial timeline was she wasn't a magic girl. She was pretty much where Madoka is in our storyline. It's going to get a little weird here. Just bear with me. And Madoka is actually the magic girl. And she's watching her go through everything, and like, it comes down to like the big boss battle against like this huge witch, and she can't win. There is no winning. And Haruma pretty much just agrees, and she's like, I'll do it. I'll be a magic girl. My only wish is I want to go back and do it all over again. I want to meet Madoka, and I want to do it all over again. And I want to save her. And you see, like, it goes back, and like, the Harima we know and love today is just, she's just badass, and she just kind of comes in and she's like, I do what I want, whatever, just, And the very first one that you meet is very kind of timid. She's got glasses, and she's just kind of like, don't notice me, don't notice me. And you see her slowly become who she is. And she keeps screwing up. And crap, this timeline didn't work. I wasn't able to save her. This timeline didn't work. I wasn't able to save her in this one. I messed up in this one. I messed up in this one. She's building more and more and more and more. And she keeps going back and trying to explain to him. She's like, no. Kyubey is evil. Kyubey is freaking evil. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. And she keeps going back and going back and going back and redoing it over and over again, which ends up explaining why Madoka has such phenomenal potential to her, is because every timeline that she's going back, she's doing it for Madoka. So every single timeline is just slowly putting more and more pieces into Madoka. So, I mean, at one point, Kyubey even said, yeah, whenever she would turn into a witch, I would give it 10 days before she'd kill the entire planet. And it's like, damn, girl, calm your tits. But also, wow. I mean, that is impressive. And let's see. It's just really interesting going back and watching her become who she is. Once again, the visuals. Like, I have it in my notes so many times because it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Also, there's a random, like wordless credits halfway, like literally halfway into the movie. And it just, like, nothing was even wrapping up or anything. It was just randomly, like, I guess where maybe, like, one episode would have ended or something, like, on a kind of dramatic note, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, credits. And it's like, but they're, like, the credits aren't rolling or anything. It's just kind of a, what? And I was even kind of thinking, oh, okay, it's going to be like a time skip or something like that. Nope, just random wordless credits. But you come back from that what the fuckery, and, like, they've ended up finding Sayaka's body, and again, it doesn't really go into much detail with that. It pretty much just says they found it, and it's kind of explaining, you know, there's a little bit of closure, but this is what happens to magical girls. And I've got a random little note in here where Kyubey's species pretty much is trying, well, I guess, is trying to figure out, you know, I don't understand why, you know, you're discovering that all of this is happening and it's so confusing to you. I mean, I don't know what you're so upset over. I mean, my species sees emotions as a mental illness, and in a way, they're not wrong, but it just, I remember it made me laugh so bad. And I don't want to give away the ending because it kind of, like, just sidelined me. I did not see it coming. Like, in the first one, you think that something is going to happen, and it doesn't. And this one, I never once thought it was going to happen. And it kind of comes out of nowhere, but it is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. And wow, it was so good. It was so good. I have no idea what it's going to do with the third movie, though. Like, this one actually wraps everything up perfectly. Like, Madoka actually, she finds a way of, like, writing everything. Everything's all kind of, it's a nice, happy little package at the end. Kind of. It's kind of a feels train at the end, but I'm not sure. It didn't leave off on a cliffhanger like the first one did. This one felt very complete, so I'm not sure what the last movie is going to be about. Maybe it's going to be how they finally bring about the downfall of Kyubey and his species. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I know that much. I'm really excited for where it goes. And I can't wait to see how it finishes. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the trilogy so far with me. If you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? It's on Netflix. And it is awesome. It is awesome. And anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've liked this video, hit that like button. If you really liked it and you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I love you. Stay awesome. Bye-bye.